Hello, I'm Ellen Horan, President and CEO at the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I'm here for this week's Member Spotlight with Brenda Gaul. Brenda, thanks very much for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
And Brenda is co-founder and president of Furniture Soup.
Yes.
So tell us, in a nutshell, what is Furniture Soup?
Well, Furniture Soup it's a lot of different things. It's like soup, a little bit of everything. We do pretty much anything that happens inside of an office building. So we can do the design, we do space planning, we can fit it out with the furniture. Mm-hmm. We'll do carpet, finishes. So kind of a little bit of everything that'll put your office together the way it functions.
So whether you're looking for a desk or a complete fit out,
correct,
you can help
absolutely
the customer do that.
Everything.
Good. Let's back up a little bit. What brought you to the Reading area, Brenda?
I'm from Reading.
Oh,
I actually graduated from Reading High School. So I'm a native.
Excellent.
And went off to design school and to see a little bit of the world, and then decided I missed it here and wanted to come back.
Okay.
I went to design school at University of Arizona, so I got to see a little bit of West Coast variety of thinking versus the way we think about things here. It was a pretty good balance.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah.
And then when you came back, I know you were involved in office business furniture prior to Furniture Soup. Is that what you got involved in as soon as you came back?
Absolutely. I've always worked in the commercial world, and I worked for an architect in Lancaster. I worked for an architect in Harrisburg, where we did school and hospital work. And then I worked for some design firms, 2 or 3 of them, and eventually landed back in Reading, and had done a lot of work with Business Outlet, and they went out of business about, at this point, maybe 12, 13 years ago.
Right, they were in West Reading?
West Reading.
Okay.
And we did refurbishing of furniture on top of selling new and pre-owned. So it was an interesting mix, and designers don't always get into that end of things, but I'm a pretty hands-on kind of person.
Right.
And so I don't mind chopping up the furniture and turning it into something else.
Right.
So that was kind of fun for me. And when they went out of business, then I continued working with my clients and kept them. And so it made starting Furniture Soup a lot easier because I already had a client base.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot, when people are starting a business, often they're encouraged to do it part-time or, kind of get a little bit of it rolling. So it was helpful that you were able to get a little bit of it rolling before you started.
Right. And I had the design background, so it's not like I was just selling furniture. We were doing whole projects. Right. And I have a lot of good large corporate accounts, companies like JetBlue Airways and Benjamin Moore Paints. And they're good repeat, constant clients. So those kind of clients really help you if you've got something like that.
Right.
Because I already knew that there was continuing work with clients like that while I started to generate new clients.
Right. Well, I used to think of you as a refurbished office furniture, but then as we worked on a project together, I learned you were much more full range in some refurbished, some new, if that's what you need. You helped us with our flooring, another chamber member installed, but helped us pick out the carpet squares that we used.
And then we called pre-owned the previously enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
It's a little more memorable that way. Sounds a little
previously enjoyed.
A little less used.
And we actually had used Furniture Soup for the Catalyst in our building in Spring Ridge, which is a shared workspace.
Correct.
And we were looking for a more eclectic space, a creative space. And initially I had proposed to a committee of entrepreneurs we put together that we could get these donated cubicles. And they looked at me like I had 2 heads, and they said, that's exactly what we don't want. And it was actually Furniture Soup that came in and said, okay, Ellen, you sit back down. We get it.
We'll give you some ideas, Right. Collaborative is a whole lot different.
There you go.
And the whole industry really is moving that direction. So we are constantly thinking about how to reinvent the office in a way that works for the people using it.
Right.
and there's a lot more thought process that goes into it than, just where do I park my desk.
Right.
So, yeah.
Other than the cool project you worked on with us and
Yes.
helping us create
Super
the
cool.
catalyst,
Super cool project.
what might be an example of an ideal type of project you love working on?
A recent project that we did that was a nice size project was Trios. They're a member of the chamber, and they
Our
recently
number one
moved.
growth company last year.
Yes, and they've been clients of ours for a very long time. When they moved into one of the buildings that they just moved out of, we helped them, and they were very eclectic at that point. They would come in and actually wander through the warehouse and say, "Oh, I want this," or "What do you have with this that'll help me set that up?" And they've just kind of pieced in, and then they added another building. And so when they were relocating, they said, "We now that we've grown up a little more, we really want something that's going to look professional, not that it less eclectic and more corporate." So we took back everything that they didn't take with them, and I went out and found an inventory for them. Which is a whole other neat adventure, finding inventories, because that's a little bit more of a commodities market, where you have to go and you're dealing with liquidators and you're finding the right inventory that's the right size and the right finishes and the right price and available when you need it. And there's a lot of logistics involved, and we found them an inventory and brought that in. But there was space planning and a little bit of carpet and some fit out. But it was nice to get them all moved in and set up. So we've got a few more phases to go with some areas for them, but that was a more recent project.
Neat. Yeah. Now, I know one of your goals with this company is not just to be a furniture and outfitting company, but to combine that creative. How do you keep your creative juices flowing? What do you do?
I spend a lot of time talking to my clients about what they do. It's and because everybody does something different. We work with manufacturers and people in offices and people in warehouses, and so people do business in a lot of different ways. And it's kind of neat when you can pick up things from one group and kind of say, well, this worked for these people, and maybe this will work for you. And so it's always just kind of keeping your eyes open and looking for not just what's in the design magazines, but how do people in the real world do stuff.
Right. And are there certain trends that you're seeing? I've heard smaller offices, not the big executive offices, more shared type work environments. Is that still the trend? Or
Yes,
are there others?
People are right sizing for the way the industry works now. But there's a lot of collaborative space going on. I have a client down in Exton that I do a lot of work with, and they're much more IT based, and we put a big collaborative area in for them, and they are thrilled to death with it. So we're moving them to a new space, and they want more collaborative. So it's nice. That's just the way they work. Smaller offices and more hangout space.
Do you have any tips for other chamber members or entrepreneurs on how to resources to latch onto in growing your business?
Our biggest resource has always been networking and using our network. Using our network for referrals, using our network when we need something, kind of, I'm going to say stay local, but stay with your clients, especially the ones that work for you and that you trust. And I do a lot of networking. My staff does a lot of networking. Most of our clients come through word of mouth or repeat. We do a lot to keep our client base. The hardest thing is keeping a client.
Good point.
And I've been doing this for a lot of years now, and through the transitions have managed to keep a lot of my clients with me. And in some companies that I work with, I'm on my 4th or 5th facilities manager that they've had, and they've just continued to work with us because, that's an opportunity to lose a client, is when you lose your contacts. But if you can keep more than just one person in the company as a contact and keep them, trusting you and appreciative of the way you treat them, then you get to keep them as clients. So that's hugely important.
Good. Well, Brenda, congratulations on the success of your business, and I thank you for being a member of the Chamber.
Wonderful. And I enjoy being a member of the chamber, and we participate in a lot of different things.
You do. Thank you.